And I am back, everyone, with purposive communication class. So this time around, we're going to be dealing with minutes of the meeting. So minutes of the meeting is one of the written document under business communication. So we'll now be moving. So again, our lesson for today will be dealing with the minutes of the meeting. So let's proceed. So basically, what do you mean by the minutes of the meeting? Usually, the minutes of the meeting are basically the written document where when we're having a meeting. So usually this is written by the secretary of the day of a certain meeting. So when we try to have our meeting, of course, there is an assembly of people for discussion or entertainment, or just simply a gathering of people. So here, when we're having a meeting, of course, there is a meeting agenda. So a meeting agenda is the list of items that participants hope to accomplish at a meeting. So next one. So basically, from that agenda and to the purpose of making these people together, we need to have some protocols wherein that secretary would need to document what really happened into a certain gathering of people. And this one is basically the minutes of the meeting. This is a written record of the discussion of the meeting of certain group of people. Okay? So we do have the ways and how we try to use in meetings. So these are the documents. So first, we have the notice. Second one, we do have the agenda. And of course, the third one is about the minutes. So minutes are basically the written document that you try to use in behalf of the discussion of a certain organization or meeting. So what are minutes? Minutes are basically, these are the short notes that taken to provide a record of a conference or a meeting. This is a permanent and formal record of what happened. And eventually, this is the summary of the discussion and the action of items. So usually, the minutes are basically the evidence where the minutes or the meeting happened, and therefore there is really a collaboration of ideas and really coming up with an agreement. So that's the good thing about minutes. Okay. So we do have the standard style of minutes. The first one is about the verbatim minutes, and the second one is the summary minutes, and the third one is the action minutes. So what do you mean by verbatim minutes? Verbatim minutes are more of they try to record a minutes of the meeting in every single word that is said at the meeting. So they don't they don't follow agenda, because what they do is they just try to record what happened. I mean, every detail counts. So they are often long and can be difficult. Unlike if we have the summary minutes. Here at summary minutes, you try to just summarize it because they are short and free from the complexities. Most commonly used in the office and normally written in full sentences rather than in bullet points. So usually in our school, what we try to use, and in barangay, of course, we just use only the summary minutes. Okay? Next one is the action minutes. Action minutes are basically, they try to record a meeting in the form of a list of steps required, who should take them and when. So purpose of this minutes is to provide only a record of the sessions that require actions. And usually this one is come up and trying to apply, being applied in some companies like that. So what do minutes contain? So these are the things that contains in a minute. The first one is the key points of discussion, the actions to be taken, and then the assignments given, and of course the deadlines, because these are basically the things that revolves in a certain meaning. So that's why as a secretary later on, I'll be telling you what are the things that you need to do, you need to bring, so that you're not having a hard time really looking into coming up and writing your minutes. Okay? So, minutes for meeting. Why? The minutes of meeting are a legal record of a committee decision. That's why I'm telling you, it's very important that really they really come up with a certain meeting, and if they try to agree to a certain decision, the minutes of the meeting will really be an evidence that they try to agree in a certain decision. So the minutes of the meeting are basically a legal record of a certain committee decision. So what do you need to do before coming up or before going to the meeting? Of course, you need to know and identify your tool. What are you going to use? Are you going to use a pen and paper only, or you're having a laptop with you? So make sure your tool is in a working condition and you can already formulate an outline. So if it's possible, you can have the memo for your meeting so that you will know already the agenda. So that when you try to put it into your laptop, you know already what are the things that are going to be talking about, and therefore you know the flow of the program. And therefore, it's easy for you to put everything into your minutes. Okay? So next one is during the meeting. So during the meeting, beforehand, you need to pass around an attendance sheet because in some, I think not some, most of the minutes of the meeting, they try to record who were absent that time and also who were present that time because this will determine who really are those people who tries to talk about into a certain topic and purpose for that set meeting. So you need to pass around an attendance sheet. Note the starting time of meeting because that one is recorded into your minutes of the meeting. Listen carefully to the discussion. If you cannot really listen, you can record the meeting so that it's easy for you to really go back to the discussion presented into the meeting, and you're not having a hard time, especially if you are low in terms of typing. So do not interpret what happened, simply report it. And then note the ending time of the meeting. So what are the tips for making minutes? You need to make sure that all of the essential elements are noted, especially if there are decisions made. So don't make a mistake of recording every single comment. To be sure about who said what, don't wait too long to type up the minutes. Don't be intimidated. You may be called upon many times to take minutes of the meetings. So as what I'm telling you, all of you can take your minutes because, of course, and all of you should know how to take some minutes because in our organization, everyone should know how to write some minutes because even in barangay, in the secretary, the kagawad, they should know how to take some minutes because that's very important in terms of legal actions in an organization or in any corporation. Okay, so let's now move on. So why do you think minutes are very important? They try, as what I'm telling you, to try to offer legal protection. Second, they try to provide structure. They drive action. They act as a measuring stick. And of course, they state ownership. So like if there are ideas, decisions, problems that they need or require action from the memorandum, therefore, this one means of the meeting is really putting it on a record, okay? And putting it also in filing, okay? So these are examples of the minutes of the meeting. So this one is the minutes of the meeting for the students' orientation for the limited face-to-face classes. And after you're going to be looking at it, there is the number of participants, number of absent participants, and it is also indicated there the time where when the meeting really happened. Okay, so that's it, everyone, for the minutes of the meeting. So, but one more important thing when you're trying to take some minutes, you try to utilize the past tense and you try to use the passive voice. For example, Mr. Riveros reiterated that he indicated that because it's done already, so therefore you need to use past tense. Okay, past tense meaning the tenses, the verb tenses should be happening in the past. Okay, however, if there are some discussions that will be done in the future, for example, the celebration will be held. So in short, you try to use the tense, which is about the will be held, more of future progressive tense like that. Okay? So another thing also, passive voice, meaning that it's not Mr. Dante gave. So it should be like the celebration was initiated by Mr. Dante, like that. So make sure that it's in positive, passive. I mean, positive, a positive, I mean, the presentation of the sentence is in a positive voice, and use the past tense. And of course, try to look into also more of like putting it into narration. But make sure that the narrated thing are just the important highlights of the meeting. Okay? So I think that would be all for the minutes of the meeting. Thank you so much, everyone, and bye.